adult summer camp, gigantic watermelons, douchey college boys, and nobody puts baby in a corner. That's
nobody.
This week we are breaking down 1987 rom-com Dirty Dancing with Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey, currently streaming wherever you can find it. I found it on Amazon Prime, but I had to rent it, which I felt was unreasonable.
Oh, it was on Hulu for free.
Wow, Kira.
I'm sorry. I should have told you.
Actually, you know what? I'm happy that I got to support Dirty Dancing because I love this movie.
All right, guys, we're back with our third week of our 80s series, Big Hair, Big Feelings, breaking down 80s rom-coms. Although we really picked not one but two rom-drams.
Yes.
Right? Out of these four. And I don't know if next week's going to be too much less, but that the 80s love to bring like deep, dark topics, right? Uh-huh. But you guys, I had not seen Dirty Dancing in over 30 years. No. I haven't seen it in its entirety since the 80s. And since I saw it in the theater. So this was like a completely new experience for me. I feel like that you and I have switched roles.
Yes. Today we have.
Right? As the Gen Xer, as the person who was a teenager or a child and teen in their 80s. So I feel like I wore this with completely fresh eyes.
Oh my God.
Right? And I know that you did not.
So nostalgic. I went into this so excited, and then you know what? Still excited. And keep in mind, I was -1 when it came out.
Right.
But it was a formative movie for me, and I am going to overlook any critical feedback you have about it.
So everybody know that for today, there will be two sides on some level. I will be bringing the truth, and then Isabel will be bringing the delusion. And that's okay, the delulu. That's okay, because you know what? I have been delusional about many, many movies on this podcast. You have been delusional. We have things that we just love, that talk to us, that make us feel things. And it's hard, or we don't even, there's been times where I'm like, I don't even see it. Can't even see it. Yep. Mm-hmm. So I cannot wait, as somebody who took 1,000 notes.
I know you did. I'm scared.
To talk about Dirty Dancing and hear your defenses for this movie.
Here's my first defense. This is personal. This is personal. I am baby. I was so her. I was so idealistic. I was gonna save the world. I felt like this self-righteous cause. I was a peace and justice studies major. Okay, people? I don't think you get more baby than that. Yes,
really?
I really was.
Which, by the way, I think is wonderful. But it's just funny because A, I don't know this about you, and B, it is that I was idealistic too, right? That there's something about teenage and especially early 20s. I'm going to change the world. I'm going to fight for what I believe. And then you get tired.
Yeah, and then,
by the time you hit perimenopause, like I'm in, you're like, dude, I don't have time for this. So I'm more of the Kelly Bishop, aka Emily Gilmore, aka whatever Mrs. Houseman in this. I did not remember that she was in this. So actually, that was a delightful little surprise when I'm like, oh, Emily, good to see you.
She's just there hanging out,
She's just there. They gave her zero role.
Her. She's not paying attention. Her daughters
gave her zero role.
Given she doesn't know.
But so our general overalls are: you love this movie. There is no problems whatsoever. No. You were baby. Yeah. Johnny is your dreamboat, and you could have lived this story.
I actually sort of did, because the summer I was most deeply obsessed with this movie. I was in Scotland. My family had a house there. We would go for the whole summer. And
oh my God.
A tiny town of 100 people maybe, okay? And there was a boy there who I had a huge crush on, and we liked each other. We like sort of dated, and we watched Dirty Dancing together. And I was like, this is my Dirty Dancing story. It's like he was a little bit older, you know, he's from this
Was
tiny
he
town in
50?
Scotland.
Like Patrick Swayze was in this?
He was 50, and nobody had a problem with it. Okay.
He tracks so old for me
does.
in this.
He
It just
does.
and as so if you guys go back to probably the very first episode when we're talking about our favorite rom-coms, why we're doing this, and you mentioned Dirty Dancing, and my instant response is, ugh, I don't like Dirty Dancing. Probably I hate Dirty Dancing, which is I do not hate
Strong
it now.
response. Okay.
Right? It was a strong response. I actually somewhat enjoyed the nostalgia of the 60s and the 80s, right? Because they didn't really nail the 60s that well. It was like 80s hair with 60s clothes, you know, that kind of vibe. But I mean, I enjoyed it more than I thought, but I could in no way be in denial that this is like healthy, even a rom-com, even a romance. And the biggest thing, oh, I've got thoughts. I have so many thoughts. But just also that he comes off so much older. Like, so she was actually 25, because, you know, I'm looking this shit up. She was actually 25 when she did this. No, I'm sorry. She was 27. So she played almost 10 years younger. And then he was 35. And he's supposed to be playing a 25-year-old. So it's supposed to be 17 and 25. A 17-year-old is really pretty young
20,
and naive.
I wish he had been
Right.
20, you know?
Right, exactly.
Something else, yeah.
But 25 is like, he is in a different life space. He's in a different, but bless Patrick Swayze, but he did not pull off 25 for me, man. He just did not.
He was too good at dancing to be 25.
And I have a little fun fact in our behind the scenes trivia about him trying to be younger and what he did to look younger in this movie.
What did he do? Oh my God.
He wore a girdle.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Is that what is that what people think being younger involves?
Well, I guess just like, you know, like a thinner body, just a small, you know what I mean? Like when you're younger, you have like a little bit more of a wiry frame. You don't really have a manly body. So yeah, he was like tucking things in. And I know, right? When I read that, I was like, oh, that's going in the trivia.
It was the emotional part, though, because you could see him trying to play young when he's like getting upset talking about his situation, and it just doesn't quite land. He doesn't have like the actual dysregulation of a younger person. So I do see how there's a mismatch there. But
I do. And I mean, this is what I will say. And I think that this has come up a couple of times for me, particularly during like my teen years. I've mentioned I grew up just kind of very naive, pretty sheltered, not going to Scotland every summer, like with my family, because I lived in a small town in Wisconsin. And like in the summers, my grandmother had a farm that I would help out at. So that kind of stuff. But I feel like why I had maybe such a negative response when I was, 14 or 15 when I saw this was really heavy for me. The whole abortion storyline, her really like lying to her parents or her dad. And I mean, like, it just, I think probably didn't make me feel good because it felt really overwhelming for what I could take in at that age, right? Like, I'm kind of like, this doesn't feel like a love story. It feels, really sad. And I don't feel that way now, right? But here is what I will say and stick to this whole entire time. This, for me, was not a romance. This was Baby's sexual awakening. This is her coming out story or like learning story. Like, Johnny could have been anyone as far as I'm concerned. And I don't even know what he's bringing to this besides hot dancing.
His body? Yes. Did you see his dancing?
I did see his dancing.
Oh, my God.
I did see his dancing.
It was so dirty.
But, I mean, they really just made him this, like, emotionally unregulated,
Shallow,
dysregulated, like from the wrong side of the tracks, bad boy that's like just needs to be saved by the right woman who's a 17-year-old, right? Like it is like knows nothing about anything.
Yeah.
So to me, this is her story, right? And if it's her story, I actually like this movie. Right? Because I
Yeah.
think that that's like when you're 17, you have crushes on like slightly older, more manly men. And my God, I can get why if a 17-year-old would have a crush on
older
Johnny
guy.
Castle if he didn't look 50.
50.
No, but he looks mid-30s.
He looks, yeah. He looks as
And
if
although
he's
she
not,
was
like,
older,
25.
she did track late teens for me. So I'm like, this just feels, when I see them together, he feels like a teacher. He feels like a mentor, but he doesn't feel like a romantic interest.
Well, he's got so much more experience than her sexually, right? Like that's the mentor.
I
piece of
mean-
it. Yeah, I know. I'm acknowledging it. For me, it would have been more romantic if he hadn't been an asshole. Like she shows up. She's wait.
I mean, please listen to what you just said. I guess it'd be more romantic if he wasn't an asshole.
Honestly, there's something about this movie that just speaks to me. Do I like
It's okay.
men who appear to be assholes at first? And I tend towards the tragic. I love a good tragic love story.
I know you do.
Um,
I know you do.
Crazy Stupid
Come
Love.
here.
All of the
You're like
loss.
you're
Okay?
like Barb the Builder. Like, come here, my little young man that
Let
I
me
can
help you
fix
out.
and show you the way. Absolutely, because that's what
my God.
she was doing. She was fixing every situation
Yes, her
with
dad.
daddy's money. With I mean, they didn't
Penny.
even ask her for it.
I know.
Right. Now, this is an 80s movie, right? But I will say, if I'm going to bring the 2025 sensibility, right, I'm going to say when you see somebody that you don't know at all, right, and they're struggling with something, you ask how you can help. You don't go borrow $250 from your dad and then like give it to them.
Especially if they're talking down to you, making fun of you, like actively being cruel about the efforts that you've made to help. And this is where I will say he was an asshole. Like he said some
Right.
cutting, unfair things. Financially, with her time, with learning how to dance, all of it was like saving their asses. And he was not nice about it in the way that he would have been. If he had been very sweet about it, I mean, then there would truly be no flaws in this entire movie. Also, he and Penny's relationship, I know that they're just friends, but like, are they? I don't know.
I felt like watching that because I remembered, I mean, just over the years of seeing little blips and everything, their relationship feels confusing, right? A little bit unboundaried, a little bit, and I know they made it like they're not dating that, but I mean, there's very much a dependency there as partners, as friends, as I think they make a reference right in the beginning that they've like known each other since they were growing up together, right? Exactly. So that's going to get in the way of a relationship, right? When, I mean, if I were a baby, I don't want to compete against Penny.
Stunning, amazing dancer, and they share
Right.
all of this history, this experience. Yeah, no.
And she was married to Richard Marx at the time. By the way, the actress, you don't know who that is.
No.
Right Here Waiting. That was one of my, by the way, everybody, my first boyfriend, my first quote unquote, like teenage love. Right Here Waiting was our song.
Really?
I'll play it for you later. I love how like you're like, that's so cute. And I'm like laughing about it because it's pretty cheesy, and Richard Marx as well as Patrick Swayze have solid mullets. And I know I will say they're so good now in TV and movies about really sticking to making something, set, costumes, makeup, everything. It just, in a different era. And this was a real half-ass for me. This was made very cheaply. And everybody loved it because, of course, it like went
nothing.
huge. Because,
Yeah.
I think it made like 10 times the amount or something crazy, and they were surprised. But I kind of feel, so Patrick Swayze, which I do like in Ghost and a couple of other movies, but I didn't like him just because he kind of was an asshole and he was so much older and it just didn't feel that healthy. But I also think they didn't really give him a role.
Yeah.
You know, babies, they kind of give complicated relationships with her sister, with her dad, you know, even with Neil, the like, you know, the son of the country club owner or whatever. Like she gets, you know, all of these different things. And then there's just Johnny, you know, who wants to dance his steps, right? That were like really mediocre in the end. You know, he's like, I'm going to dance my steps. And I'm like, are they just are they just a shimmy? Like, what's the steps that you're like breaking out?
You cannot make fun of his dancing. You can make fun of a lot of things. The only growth we see is when he turns down the older woman who wants dance lessons.
Which I wasn't sure that he was even going to do, by the way, because there had not really been a discussion. How do we know he wasn't sleeping with multiple women, right? Like, while he was also getting to know baby in the biblical sense. And I know you're like, but the dancing. And I'm like, and I did write down here, it's no Simply Ballroom, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, or Center Stage. 3 movies that I love with dancing.
I have a negative memory of, so we'll have to do that movie at some point.
We will have to do that movie because
I don't remember it again.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I guess
it's like a top 10 rom-coms, I think, for me.
Really? Oh, wow.
He just felt old.
Maybe I'm...
So the sexy is just grinding, right? So I'm like, what is the dirty dancing that I have forgotten, right? Like, so I'm like waiting for the dirty dancing. Like you were waiting for the boombox scene and being like, what's this about? I was like, show me the dirty dancing.
When she walks in with the watermelon.
Right. All they're doing is grinding up on each other.
Yeah, but
they're just like dry humping.
No, they're not just dry humping. People's skirts are getting...
I mean, to me, they're just like, it's like foreplay. They're like gonna go out and do it in the woods afterwards.
Public. How sexy.
And before we get more into the love lesson, since we're still in the like overalls here, I do have to say, very dramatically and very seriously here for a second, I think the chance that the staff want to hang out with a 17-year-old moony-eyed girl in their free time, in their free area, is 0.
And listen, didn't I tell you this? One of the first things I said was the main thing that doesn't track for me is that Johnny's cousin would invite baby into their world because nobody would want that. He doesn't even know her. It makes no sense. So I totally agree.
And she walks in and everybody's like pretty accepting. I think bullshit. They'd be like, why did you bring in?
Stop the music.
I have worked at camps. I have worked on ships, as I mentioned. All of these experiences that kind of have like guests or richer guests. And then there's staff. And let me tell you, the last thing, besides the staff who are maybe getting late, just going to say that. Besides that.
With the guests?
Occasionally. That was like out of my realm. But hey, we could be fired if we were caught with a guest. So most people didn't do it. But the very last thing you would ever do if you wanted people to not throw things at you is bring like a guest down into our like staff area, right? Mm-hmm. Like where we get, where we get loose, where we dance, where we drink, where we whatever. And if somebody would bring in like a guest, like the stairs, what are you doing? Because, this could possibly get you fired. And you can't, then you have to be a different person, right? Like, right? Like, because you're worried, like, is this little 17-year-old going to go tell daddy that we're like humping on each other back here or, whatever, doing things that were probably semi-scandalous in 1963.
When we see you the next morning and we're serving you breakfast or whatever.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
I just don't think that, they may want to make out with them, but they don't want to bring them into their like personal space. So to me, that was like, felt very...
didn't make sense. Yeah. She was like clearly like a big deal. The owner was taking care of her family. Like they definitely didn't want her.
Super young, right? Yeah. She was super young. Like, she wasn't even 18 in this. She was 17. I went and double checked like twice because I was, yeah. So I'm like,
Yeah.
that doesn't even make sense that he's like, okay, here's the watermelon. I guess you're now part of our world.
Wait, he was carrying 3 watermelons. That was
Are they
impressive.
really hungry? Because they seemed
All that
hungry for
dancing.
something,
They
but it
had
wasn't
to-
the watermelon.
Hey.
Hey-o.
It was the eggplant.
So let's talk about the love lessons, the healthy and maybe
Let's
unhealthy
talk
love lessons
about
that came up for each
the
of
love
us, because I have a few. But why don't we start with
Yeah.
one of yours? Why don't we start on the positive side?
Okay. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was this idea of, and we've talked about this, of like being out of someone's league or being less than,
Right.
but the idea of the help in this movie, right?
Yes.
Of like the college, med school kids who are serving everybody, supposed to charm and hook
Right.
up with the young
Yes.
daughters, and then that they are still higher above in this hierarchy than the dancers. There's clearly some systems here that I'm not fully aware of why that's better or worse than the dancers, but and this idea that like people are sexually disposable if they are less than you socioeconomically or because of
Right.
the jobs that you have. And I thought that the mistreatment and that people just felt okay with that was really like important to think about and to look at.
For sure. And, this makes me want to go, it was a different time. But,
But is it? I mean,
but was it? Right. And there was that really like dramatic moment where Johnny was like, you don't get it, baby. They're using me. Like I'm not using them. They're using me. And Johnny was very victim-y in this in like a way that like he was just hurt bad boy. But I'm surprised that like there wasn't a part of young Kira that wanted to like swoop in and fix him. I was just like,
I know.
no.
Well, you knew
Like,
he was
dude.
mine. Like you had such respect from
Yes.
afar, and that's why we're such close friends.
It is. Let me share something that came up for me. So besides the age difference, okay,
Yes.
besides that, and just that power dynamic feeling off right away, because she is just looking at him. Like it's kind of interesting because she's right, exactly. Like she's the one who has the money. Her dad's a doctor. They're the kind of special guest for the time they're there, whatever. But he's also like the big man on campus as like the head dancer and lead dancer and everything. But he talks to her like she's a kid. He's emotionally unregulated, and it feels more like a teacher mentor love interest than like potential partners or potential like people on the same page, on the same level. It feels like she is always going to be working for his attention and we see her do it with her dad. So I think we're absolutely going to see it happening in this relationship where we see her have to like hustle for love or earn love or attention from her dad. Or if he's mad at her, he gives her the silent treatment, which is not okay.
Mature.
Right? Not mature. I'm like, you're the parent here, right? You have a 17-year-old that you basically brought to like some kind of like sexcapade.
Sex camp. Yes.
Right. Exactly. Like, and now you're shocked that she's doing things that you're surprised about. Right. But like that age difference. But let's talk about the fact that she doesn't want Johnny because of his heart. She doesn't want Johnny because of his kindness. She wants Johnny for the D.
For that dirty dancing D.
She
That's
does.
what it is.
She is when she is watching him across the room,
is
when she
sexed
is
out.
idolizing, when she is
know.
idolizing him. This is not, oh my God, this could be the love of my life. This is
I want to tap
wiser, older, more knowledgeable man who is sexy
With
and
his
can show
body.
her the way, right?
100%.
And she like worships him, but that doesn't make like healthy relationships and love.
She does. So I agree. I mean, you can like smell her hormones when she sees him walking, dancing with that. You're like, oh my God, you are so screwed, girl. She is just like salivating over him, as we all are. So I totally get it, baby. But I will say, I feel like I totally agree with that. And she stands up to him, though, when he's being rude, when he's
She
teaching
does.
her, she'll snap back. And like, we do see them equalize. It's not realistic. It wouldn't happen over this time frame. Like, they're not at this camp for 6 months, right? Like, this is a
Right.
matter of
It's like
weeks.
3 weeks, I think, right?
Yeah. And like, they do one performance together, and suddenly he treats her with more kindness, and she feels like an equal to him and can dance as good as he can. I get that that's not probable. But I like that they
Oh,
at least
really?
showed that shift happen.
I do think, like I said, I actually think Jennifer Grey showed up in this role.
Oh my God.
Like
Top shelf.
I was really impressed. I really was. I was impressed. And I was like, because the other thing that I noticed, and I was going to actually go and look, but they don't talk a lot. There's so much dancing. And that's really a theme, and just like the overall vibe of the camp or the country club. There isn't actually a ton of conversation, right? Most of the time between the two of them is dancing. We don't get to actually see a lot of, like growth and things like that, because they're literally just not talking through most of this movie.
Yeah. And I will say, this leads into a love lesson, is that there's one point where he calls her out for not being honest that they're together and not telling her dad. And when that happened in the rewatch, I was like, are you together though? Like, is this a thing that is serious?
Right.
Or like, I guess
Because
I
how
had
do
no
we know
idea
he's
what
not
you
sleeping
were.
with all of
Somebody
the
else.
older ladies who are tipping him money at the end of it, right?
I think a love lesson is, if you are going to date somebody, if they were dating, that your family disapproves of, you got to either be willing to like fight that battle with your family and take
Absolutely.
that on head on, or not
Yep.
do it, because you can't be bringing somebody into a space where they are disapproved of, disliked, rejected, judged, and not like be the one to withstand that and take the brunt of that. And we see her try to, until the
Absolutely.
very end, sort of get away with not having to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you know what? If you're really proud to be with this person that you literally kind of obsessively stalked, baby, the least you could do is talk about it to your family, your sister.
12 seconds.
I like back myself into this, so.
Oh, you.
Oh, me. I can still hear you, so. Sorry about that.
Ain't no thing. But I will have a point to make, though.
I know you will, and I'm okay with that. Okay.
But she didn't want to
yes.
get him fired, though. So it was a really complicated situation. She couldn't be upfront because she didn't want to risk his career.
Interesting. That's an interesting take. So I'll just leave that there. So back to Johnny. No, a couple of different things that came. Here's the stuff that came up. I'm just going to like blah, so that I don't spend 30 minutes talking about this. But first of all, we see Johnny have like shame and self-worth stuff. That's definitely going to come up if they actually have a relationship. You can see that he doesn't feel good enough for her. And that's probably going to come up again and again and again as we see, like what happens and what we see in movies that I hate is this somebody coming in, rescuing the person. And there's just this belief that like love can save us, right? That baby's going to love him enough that he's going to see his worth. And then they're going to like both thrive and healed and they're falling in love and it's the best thing ever. That's not what we see happen in real life. We see that shame, that self-worth stuff show up again and again and again in relationships, be through jealousy, through control. Sometimes, he may turn to addiction. Like this is what really happens. I'm sorry I'm bringing like real shit today. I apologize because
You should apologize. Yeah.
I know, right? And then just like his emotional unregulation. It's super sexy when he's like your camp boyfriend, dancing boyfriend, right? It's not when you have kids. It's not if he can't control himself in public and you get kicked out of places, right? That loses its shine real quickly when it starts showing up in real life. And then the other thing is that just the power dynamics keep being off for me because she is 100% thinking that she needs to rescue him. She needs to rescue Penny. She needs to like make all of their lives better when she doesn't know them. They don't know her, and they never fucking asked for it. Right. And so it's just kind of like, I don't know. It just felt like almost like rich white savior kind of thing. Right. Like of just like, you know, I'm going to come in and because my family has money, not me, but my family has money, I can help you get through these tough times. Although, you know, made so many more problems with her dad, with, you know, it was something. It was something.
Yeah.
That is what I will say. So those are the like page-long love lessons. Like,
let's wrap up with one, which is the real problem is Robbie. Can we all agree?
Who has like 6 lines? Yes.
And yet,
Robbie's obviously
sleeping with everyone, causing every problem. He's the Penny problem. He's Baby and Johnny getting exposed problem because he was sleeping with that other woman problem. He's upsetting her sister. Like somehow Robbie is like getting after and getting in everybody's way.
He really is. I don't know if he's the whole problem of this movie.
He's the whole problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what I will say about Robbie is I don't think, and boy, I don't know if this is just, you know, me and my negativity, but I don't think he would have admitted to her dad, like someone that he was dating and about to get probably hundreds of dollars from. That little fucker was ever going to like go, oh yes, thanks for taking out with Penny, you know. No, he is going to ride or die that lie until he has to
100%
share it, right? Because like it does not benefit him or his future or what, you know, he has believed to be.
He's already dodged it. Right. He's already lied about it.
Exactly.
So there's really no reason why he would own up to it. I agree.
Yeah. But I kind of forgot about the whole stealing thing. And I'm like, boy, Johnny's just getting screwed in this left, right, and center. I was like, dude, find another job.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, my God.
Johnny Castle, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. So we talked a little bit about the meet cute. Does it work? You're like, of course it does. I'm like...
Oh, they dance. I love it. I love it. I wish that was the energy that he brought and didn't get mean. I wish he had stayed in that energy space of like fun and coy and yeah, there's like a teaching component, but like it was the meanness for me that I didn't like.
Thanks for raising the bar for our people. And I wrote here, guys, because I did my notes last night after watching. I know, and you're like, of course it was wonderful, you know, and I wrote, do you know that denial is a river in Egypt? But I wrote, are we talking about when Baby was slowly stalking him from afar and then they actually meet? Yes. But it's true. Like they're supposed like meet cute, right? Like she had already been kind of watching him from afar for quite a bit. And it's cute when it's a 17-year-old who is rich and her parents are, you know, a big deal on this camp. It's not as cute when it's, you know, if this was Patrick Swayze. It's a little bit, but like, I just can't buy that Baby likes Johnny for Johnny. I buy that Baby is like, has a first love, has a crush, has her first like sexual awakening, like whatever that is. But I cannot buy that this is like
love. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. They barely know each other. Okay.
And what are some of the best and worst lines that you have here?
Okay. All right. I'll do the funny one and then the one that might make me cry reading it right now. Okay. I love when Johnny says to Robbie, just put your pickles on the plate, college boy. Leave the hard stuff to me. I don't know what it is about that line that just kills me. It was so funny. Rude. It is funny.
I actually laughed out loud. Like that's the only comedy in that whole entire movie.
Yes. We pulled out the one comedy.
Yes, absolutely. And then tell everybody the other line and just I'll be here to hold space for you.
If this isn't the most heartbreaking line, this like touches my soul because I feel like I felt this so many times in life. Okay. When Baby says, I'm scared of walking out of this room and never feeling the rest of my life the way I feel when I'm with you. So sad. So many tears, especially with a first love or crush. You're like, I'll never get this again. I'll
I
never be
know.
able to recreate this. Like, it's only
I
you.
know.
It's such a powerful feeling, and it keeps people in so many relationships that they should leave because of this fear, this wanting to, not miss out on that feeling.
And also wanting to go back to that feeling that's
Oh,
really, as a reminder to everybody, just the first
chemicals.
stage of a relationship, right? Like it's called the obsessive love phase. It's called the honeymoon period, when you don't see any of their faults. You just think that they're amazing.
It's a great time.
And yeah, it's a great time. But I
Doesn't
see so many
last.
people like you do in shitty relationships because they remember that moment, but they're ignoring what's happening now. But I wrote down,
Yeah, what did you write?
I'm known as the catch of the county. So
He is
Neil,
so pretentious. Oh
the
my
son or the grandson or whatever,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, he's obviously ridiculous, but that actually made me laugh out loud. So I wrote it down because there wasn't many laugh out louds, and God knows, like, I actually forgot. So, the baby, nobody puts baby in a corner kind of thing. I was like, what corner was she in?
I don't. It
She
doesn't
was
make
just,
sense.
it doesn't
Sitting
make
at a
sense.
table.
She's like,
I know.
she's sitting at a table where half the people don't even get tables. So she's in like a special spot,
Yeah.
but she's just backed into like a little bit of a corner in this big room. And like, he has to make this super statement that is now like,
What if she chose that seat because that was where she felt most comfortable? Like, yeah, it
right.
doesn't
It's
make
the
sense.
mafia seat. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
right. Like
Safety.
that's actually just smart,
Let's. You know what? Can I say something? Let's just
Yeah.
skip. Will they make it? Because we know they will.
Skipping
You
that.
didn't have anything to add to that section, so
I didn't. I mean, I can see a lot of my writing and I see one line from you.
see if I
So
can
this is
delete
what
it.
Izzy wrote, everybody. Yes. Exclamation point. I refuse to believe they won't make it. And then I wrote, because we sometimes write notes on each other's, I wrote, how do you think that even works? Is Johnny going to dance sleep around himself around Africa while she works in the Peace Corps? Like, literally, she wants to save the world and go work in the Peace Corps. What's
No.
dancing? What's Johnny's dancing ass going to do?
she's gonna save Johnny's world. I think dancing around the country.
Oh.
Okay, it's gonna be the opposite. Realistically, we're being honest about this. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
That's
said,
gonna work.
then I wrote, no, of course not. She's 17 and he's got a lot of shit to deal with, right? Like, I just even think that age difference and the power dynamic and the money and the everything else, like, it's just going to be a constant long-term conflict for them without, especially since I know it's 1963, so they're not like diving into therapy, right?
No,
like versus something.
And I'll be
something
honest,
here, but
it's a summer fling. It's a summer
Right.
fling at adult
It's a
summer
summer
camp.
fling.
They both say goodbye at the end. They don't have cell phones. It's over, but in my heart,
yes,
they're still dancing.
dirty dancing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, it literally, I actually said, Izzy, because I've been talking about like not wanting to watch this because I'm like, we're doing this one because A, it's a huge crowd classic, or like, people love it as like an 80s, romance movie. And then you love it, but I was like, I know I'm not going to be excited, but I didn't mind it. I just couldn't buy it as a love story, as a really truly romantic,
Romance,
right?
yeah.
It was a absolute summer fling. And I wish they would have made it just a little less power issue-y, right? Like if he was 20, 21, if he looked not 50, if he, you know what I mean? If there was all of these different things, it just would have felt a little more realistic to me.
And later.
And later,
It was heavy,
like, oh
yeah.
my God, it was super heavy. But if they were our clients, you have one line, I have about 20 clients.
my
What would you
Here's
work
my
on?
line. You know what it is? It's because I identify with baby, so I only care about her in this way. And Johnny, I just want to leave as this fantasy. I said, baby needs to do some individuating from her family.
That's the only thing you wrote. Out of all of this, that's the only thing she wrote. I'm like,
Hard
he
time
needs.
in my life.
You hold on to this, okay?
I'm gonna hold
All right,
on.
you hold on, you hold on.
My life,
and
yeah.
I will bring today the honesty, and that's totally okay. I said that he needs to work on his self-worth, and his shame and some healthy coping skills and emotional regulation, because like, you know, what is he going to pop through the car glass window every time he can't get in?
Oh, that was so hot.
Do you guys think that's hot? I need somebody to reach out on Instagram and tell us if you think that Johnny putting his hand through a window.
It's not okay. For everyone who's listening, I recognize it's not okay. That's actually probably a red flag. Like, it's, you know, we don't want to see violence of any kind. Okay, I'm acknowledging it. But man, if the primal part of me isn't like,
I get it.
Wow, he's so strong.
Yeah. I'll just be honest that like Patrick Swayze overall just doesn't do it for me. If this would have been probably somebody else and a little bit younger, once again, talking about a little bit more, I probably would have bought into this a lot more. I mean, he would not be a dance, like he's a completely different character, right?
But he would punch a hole through a car window.
Yes, he certainly would have and say anything. But once again, look at right there. I'm all like, but then that's okay. Right? So like, you know what I mean? Like, this is our shit. It's so funny. It's so funny. And then I said what I'd like to work on with Baby is just her having her own self-worth stuff and not having to earn people's attention and love that I think is going to continually show up in her relationships, like moving forward. And I think she's like got a little bit of a fixer thing where she's going to probably pick lots of Johnnies that she can go in and fix. I don't know anybody else.
Talking to me right now?
No.
Describing my therapeutic journey, Kira.
Listen, that's many of our therapeutic journeys, right? Like I was saving people for a lot of years before like Danny and I saved each other, right? Like a lot of years. Was that cute? That was cute.
Really cute.
I do have some fun trivia because this is, you know, this movie's old as fuck. So, Patrick Swayze, first of all, had to convince, it's very well known, I don't know if, I hope I'm not ruining this for you, that they did not get along at all. And in fact, he had to convince her to do it because they worked on Red Dawn together and hated each other. And so they did a screen test. They wanted the two of them, and Patrick Swayze had to convince her to take the movie. And he wore a girdle to look thinner and younger. So that's another little trivia. The crew also had to make up Cynthia Rhodes, who is Penny, to look worse during the agony scene because she was too beautiful without makeup to look convincing. That's what
she was even beautiful with where they ended up with her. She is.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then on a television talk segment featuring Patrick Swayze's brothers, they actually said he was a much better dancer than in the film. Like Johnny wasn't supposed to be necessarily that great. He wasn't a professional. So that he had to kind of, you know, tone down his moves. I thought you'd want to know that for sure.
Oh my gosh.
And then at 35 years old, so like literally double the age, he was older in the role of Johnny by 10 years. And then only 8 years younger than Kelly Bishop, who is Baby's mother, a.k.a. Emily Gilmore.
That's weird casting.
Yeah, that is weird casting. And I don't like that when they don't even make the mothers like old enough, like, you know, and by the way, the difference in ages, she's only 14 and 16 years older than the two people who played her kids. So unless she was a teenage pregnant bride, right, exactly. That was a little weird. And I just thought this was interesting. Delays in the shooting schedule pushed filming into the autumn. And it required the set decorators to spray the paint the autumn leaves green so that it would continue to look like summer.
God. You know what? When her dad is sitting by the lake, it has autumn vibes. It doesn't feel like the summer. So that's interesting.
That is interesting. And then there was other people. I don't think you're going to know all of them, but there were other people that were definitely considered for this. So Billy Zane, if you know who that, he's in Titanic.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So he was considered for the role, as well as Eric Roberts, who is Julia Roberts' brother. Do you know who that is?
No.
He's been kind of doing stuff for a lot of years. He's Emma Roberts' dad. I cannot see him in this either. And then Sharon Stone and Sarah Jessica Parker both auditioned for Babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then because Sarah Jessica Parker had danced in Girls Just Want to Have Fun, which if you haven't seen, is a fantastically 80s-rific movie with Helen Hunt also. And then finally, Jennifer Grey, who was shown at the beginning during the phrase merengue dance, Lessons to be Uncoordinated, she went on to win her season of Dancing with the Stars.
Good for her. Johnny taught
With
her
her partner, Derek Huff, who I love. So in season 11. So that is, it was not lost. She came so far. What were our overalls? What were our tacos?
I'm upset by what I'm seeing right now.
I know you are.
Overall is a 5, obviously.
Of course.
Love Lessons is a 5.
Wow.
Top of the board.
So I overall just enjoyed it. I actually thought it was a little boring and a little overly dramatic for what it was. I know. And then I couldn't give the Love Lessons anything more than 2 because I don't think there was love. So I think there was getting it on and dirty dancing. Johnny was too old and too angry. Baby's too young and trying to save the world. And they're going to have the struggles, the agonies.
But they
all right, guys.
Together. Yeah.
Do you love dirty dancing? Do you feel maybe like I do? I am, by the way, thinking no one feels like I do. I am fully waiting for the wrath on this one. But that's a wrap on this episode. And we laughed, we've analyzed, and we've uncovered the questionable love lessons behind this movie.
Now it's your turn. Tell us what you think. Can everyone please DM us, and Kira in particular, to let us know that you think this relationship total goals. Nothing was wrong with this film. And you can vote at our Instagram polls and let us know. Come to my support.
And if you're not watching this on YouTube, while you cook dinner, our faces alone at each other are worth it. I rolled during 60% of this.
Yeah, you did.
In a very sweet way, because I love Izzy very, very much. And guys, next week we are breaking down one of my all-time favorite rom-coms from the 80s, 1987, Some Kind of Wonderful, with Mary Stuart Masterson, Eric Stoltz, who I think is super dreamy in it, and Leah Thompson. It's now streaming on Pluto for free.
Make sure to follow, subscribe, and leave a review if you love what we do. It helps us bring more rom-com magic and real talk your way.
Because at the end of the day,
we believe that we create our own happily ever afters. And remember, we've had the time of our life. I know, I was so happy when I thought of that. Because I had the time of my life. Oh my
and
God.
I never felt this way before. Yes, I haven't felt. All right, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.